have to take care of this truck because this truck takes care of me. And it's a partnership, and that's why I take care of it.
The ice 2025, some ice road truckers cast members are no longer with us, while others have ended up behind bars, and a few are still facing dangers most of us can't even imagine. These are the real stories of near-death, of choices that led to tragedy, and of lives forever changed after the cameras turned off. From drivers who pushed limits on frozen lakes to ones whose personal struggles took them down unexpected paths, the truth is stranger than fiction. Stick around, because by the end, Number 3's story will make you question every mile you ever saw on the show. Number 7. Darrell Ward. Darrell Ward was the kind of guy who made you want to jump into a cab and ride the ice roads with him, grinning through -50-degree wind and joking over the CB radio like nothing could stop him. Born on August 13, 1964, in Montana, he literally grew up around trucks. His family ran harvest rigs, and he spent decades learning the trade long before he ever hit the screen on Ice Road Truckers. By the time he joined in Season 6, Darrell had the mix of skill, charm, and adrenaline addiction that made viewers instantly fall in love with him. He wasn't just driving trucks, he was saving lives on icy roads, helping rookies, and somehow staying cooler than everyone else in chaos. Fans loved his grin, his backwards cap, and the way he could make near-death situations feel thrilling instead of terrifying. Off-camera, he helped fight forest fires, organized community drives, and lived by his motto, "Any road, any load." But the life of thrill-seeking and service came to a sudden halt on August 28, 2016, when he and his co-pilot, Mark Mellett, died in a plane crash returning from the Great American Truck Show. Eyewitnesses described the plane veering sharply before hitting the trees, and investigators could never pinpoint exactly why. The tragedy shook fans and fellow truckers alike, but what makes it even harder to forget is that Darrell was about to start a documentary project exploring plane wrecks, a dream cut short just as it was about to take off. And while some drivers on the ice faced dangers they could see coming, the next person on our list had trouble finding the line between thrill and disaster in ways no one could have predicted. Number 6. Art Burke. Art Burke arrived on Ice Road Truckers in Season 7 like he belonged on the ice by birth, a scrappy Canadian who looked like he could wrestle a blizzard and win, and over 38 episodes between 2013 and 2017, he showed he wasn't kidding. Burke's personality was magnetic. He could make you laugh while making even the scariest ice crossings feel thrilling, but off-camera, that same curiosity got him into serious trouble. Burke wasn't afraid of experimentation. One of the most infamous incidents happened after the show went off the air, when he tried making a cannabis concentrate called shatter using highly flammable liquid butane. Despite knowing the risks, he pushed forward, and a spark turned his home into a fireball. Neighbors felt the explosion blocks away, damages topped $60,000, and Burke suffered second-degree burns over 40% of his body, landing in the hospital for nearly 2 weeks. That wasn't the end of it. In 2020, he pled guilty to arson by negligence, faced house arrest, restitution, and had to sell his rig to cover fines. Even in court, his rebellious streak showed. He came late to a sentencing hearing and challenged the schedule, pushing the judge's patience to the limit. Today, he posts haul videos under a new name, but the easygoing smirk fans loved is gone, replaced by a serious, haunted edge that tells you he still hears the explosion every time he blinks. Number 5. Hugh Rowland. Hugh Rowland, known as the Polar Bear, was one of the early stars of Ice Road Truckers, the guy whose gravelly voice and no-nonsense attitude became central to the first seasons, second only to Alex Debogorski in screen time. He had this mix of humor, toughness, and skill that made him instantly memorable, and producers built entire episodes around his lectures to rookies or his clever ways of handling treacherous ice. Fans loved his gruff charm, and Rowland himself was quick to joke about the cameras. He told producers when approached, "Yeah, you can put cameras in my trucks, but just stay out of my way. It doesn't cost me any money. Nobody's going to watch us go up and down the ice anyway." Unfortunately, Hugh's story took a serious turn in 2014. While off-duty, riding as a passenger in an SUV driven by producer Will Morrison, the vehicle veered off a narrow dirt road and rolled over, leaving him with severe spinal injuries and a shattered left heel. Recovery took 2 years, but the physical damage was only part of the story. Rowland filed a lawsuit against the producer, claiming reckless driving, and the legal battle, combined with his injuries, ended his television career. The accident also contributed to personal challenges, including the breakdown of his marriage, with claims that the injuries impacted their intimacy and led to significant strain. The lawsuit was never fully publicized, and the network quietly wrote him out. Hugh hasn't returned to Ice Road since, though he still appears at truck shows, signing autographs and leaning on a cane, with fans whispering about what really ended his career. Despite everything, he runs a construction company now and spends time with his family, proving that while the ice roads may be behind him, his resilience keeps him moving forward in other ways. Number 4. Mark Cohaquich. Mark Cohaquich is the steady hand behind Polar Industries, the Winnipeg-based trucking company that's taken on some of Canada's harshest northern terrain, including the infamous ice roads that challenge even the most seasoned drivers. On screen, he often played the straight man, quietly overseeing operations while others faced blizzards, breakdowns, and near-miss crashes. But behind that calm exterior is a man whose story is all about strategy, endurance, and a deep respect for the North. He first appeared on Ice Road Truckers in Season 5, gradually taking on a more prominent role from Season 7. By the 10th season, he even briefly drove Darrell Ward's truck and operated a heavy loader, proving that he wasn't just a guy behind a desk, he understood the work because he had done it himself. Mark's fascination with the North began long before Polar Industries existed. As a university student, he and a friend would take ice fishing day trips that gradually pushed farther and farther into remote areas, staying out longer each year. They noticed freight trucks constantly passing through the frozen wilderness and wondered if there was a business opportunity in hauling supplies to these inaccessible places. That curiosity became the foundation for Polar Industries. What started with just 21 loads in the first year eventually grew to over 700 by the 6th year, supplying remote communities and First Nation settlements that rely on ice roads to survive the winter. One of the most remarkable examples of Mark's leadership came in 2017, when the railroad line to Churchill, Manitoba, was washed out. Without it, essential goods couldn't reach the town. Mark coordinated the construction of an ice road to deliver fuel, perishable food, and other supplies before Christmas, calling it a Christmas present to Churchill. His crews worked grueling 14 to 18-hour days, battling harsh weather and logistical challenges, while Mark orchestrated everything from planning to execution. "It's not like you can pick up a cell phone and call for help," he explained. "There are no helicopters, no aircraft, you take calculated risks every day." That statement alone underlines the responsibility he carries, not just for his business but for the people who depend on him. Since the show ended, Mark has stayed out of dramatic headlines. No fires, no lawsuits, no scandals, just the ongoing chess game of keeping freight moving across thawing permafrost and unpredictable northern conditions. His story isn't flashy, but it's compelling because it shows the quiet, often unseen side of the ice road world. While viewers are drawn to crashes and snowstorms, Mark represents the other side: strategy, foresight, and the mental toughness it takes to manage life in extreme isolation. And even with all his planning, the ice has a way of humbling everyone, which makes you wonder, what will the next season of Ice Roads throw at someone like him, whose life is all about calculated risk? Number 3. Todd Dewey. Todd Dewey became part of the Ice Road Truckers cast in Season 7, quickly earning a reputation for being one of the fastest and most skilled drivers at. Number 1. Alexander Debogorski. Alex Debogorski is the original Ice Road legend, the driver whose name has become synonymous with courage, skill, and sheer endurance on some of the most dangerous frozen highways in the world. He's the only driver to appear in all 11 seasons of Ice Road Truckers, and fans loved him for his humor, grit, and the calm steadiness he displayed even when everything around him seemed ready to collapse. Alex's approach was simple: respect the ice, trust your instincts, and never underestimate the road. Before Ice Road Truckers made him famous, Alex had already survived near-death experiences that would have ended lesser men. He reportedly survived 37 bar fights in 1 week, 11 attempted robberies, and narrowly avoided being crushed in a coal mine. Those experiences shaped the instincts that later saved him on the ice roads, where a single miscalculation could be fatal. His driving style reflected this. He often kept his window cracked in sub-zero temperatures just to listen to the ice, attuned to every creak, groan, and shift. "That's the ice talking," he would say. "Ignore it, and it might swallow you whole." Over decades, he endured frost-bitten fingers, blackened cheeks, and even spent 3 days trapped in a snow-buried truck at temperatures as low as 60 below zero. Survival for Alex has always been less about toughness and more about respect, focus, and patience. Off-screen, Alex transformed into a storyteller, sharing his decades of experience with new audiences. He tours Canada giving talks on trucking history, posts weekly videos comparing modern rigs to the massive, unwieldy trucks he started on in the 1970s, and in 2022 joined a streaming station for truckers, hosting Taillights, a program that recounts some of his craziest, most unbelievable adventures. He's also a published author, having released his memoir, King of the Road, True Tales from a Legendary Ice Road Trucker, which gives fans an inside look at life on the ice roads. Despite his fame, Alex remained grounded, devoted to his wife, Louise, and their 11 children. Life at home in Yellowknife, with children laughing and old songs playing on the radio, was just as important to him as the thrill and danger of the road. And even though there was no jail, no scandal, and few dramatic headlines, Alex had a unique way of finding adventure, whether it was losing a bet that forced him to milk a yak on camera or improvising his way out of a stuck truck in a blizzard. Every story reminded viewers that courage isn't recklessness, it's staying clear-headed while walking the edge of danger. But here's the question, with the ice changing and roads becoming more unpredictable, how would someone like Alex fare today if he was still driving full-time? His story isn't just about surviving frozen roads, it's about the mindset, respect, and intuition it takes to live on the edge and walk away. And there you have it, the shocking truth behind the Ice Road Truckers cast, from those we tragically lost to the ones who ended up behind bars, and the lives that completely changed once the cameras stopped rolling. These stories prove that the ice roads weren't just dangerous on screen, they were only part of a much bigger, sometimes darker story. If you found these revelations as wild as we did, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Who shocked you the most? And don't forget to subscribe and check out the next video that pops up on your screen for more behind-the-scenes stories. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next.